Alright, so check this out. I've got your web page up here, and I wanted to show you a couple of things about what we needed to do to get going here. Um, First off, something that's really important that needs to be on every page is you need to have your phone number big and bold. On some of mine, it's even bigger and bolder, but I would expect that you'd want to maintain a little more of a professional theme, being that this is going to be a doctor website. But it does need to be right there in front of people because ultimately this site is designed to get people to pick up the phone. That's what we want them to do. It's not about anything else other than getting calls in your door. So what I did here is I did this in Pixlr, which is basically online Adobe Photoshop, and that's going to make it rank or look a little bit better in like the mobile version too, because it's not going to be text and it's not going to have formatting errors. We can play with that if y'all don't like the font size, whatever. That was just something that I did real quick in pixel art. Took about 5 minutes, so nothing major there. Um, Before we get down into some of this stuff, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let's go to pages. Okay, so when we talk about on-page optimization, it's really important because that's going to begin to tell Google what your page is about. So for the page title, I went ahead and typed this in here. This is what it needs to be. It needs to be consistent with your domain. So manley chiropractic is consistent with your domain and your brand. That's the way it needs to be there. Page description, we're going to want to rank for chiropractor and chiropractic service in Arlington, Texas. So that needs to be service in city state. That's what's going to rank the best. Ultimately, Google's going to go and it's going to crawl your site with its robots, and it's going to know what your site's about. But this will help rank you in certain cities. Um, we're not going to focus on meta keywords. This is actually easier to screw up than it is the benefit. The risk reward's just not there. We'll be able to rank you for the terms you want and the terms that people are looking for without doing any of that. It's just really not a lot of reward there, and ultimately, Google really wants content written for the end user and under optimized. They don't want these crazy optimized sites. So that's that. That'll get our on-page optimization started. Okay, so let's go back to build over here. So one of the first things that we need to get figured out is here in your contact form. You're going to want to have a contact form on probably every page, for sure on all your service pages and for sure on your home page. Reason being is some of these pages, these outline pages that we're going to create, are going to rank for different terms. So your home page isn't the only thing that's going to rank. You may have some one-off search terms and one-off phrases that people search for, and they land on a different page. You want a contact form on there, and I don't know what kind. I mentioned a tripwire in one of the emails. That's really good because they've got to have some kind of incentive, whether it's maybe I don't know $25 off X-rays or free initial consultation, just something to advertise right here to get people to put in their information. Um, I would expect too that we would want to add a little bit to this contact form, and I really don't know what you want here, but a couple of things that I've seen in some other stuff is maybe a drop down box here, and we're gonna want to do this. So tell it hurts. And then we'll go edit options, and we'll go back pain, neck pain, migraine, slash head ache. We're going to add a few more here just to get some general information for you guys, and it also makes it more legit too. Sports injury, car accident, workers comp, I don't know, leg pain maybe. But anyway, we can do whatever we want here. If you don't like that, do like it, want to change it up, whatever's fine. Just maybe a suggestion to get a little bit more information. from them, and you're also going to want a phone number as well. Name, email, address, phone number. There we are. Okay, so right there. Cool. Let me make sure. Required. Yes. Yes. Okay. We may not want that comment box. Get out of the way. Okay. Name. Okay. We want to make sure all those are required. Yeah. Okay. Required. Yeah. Okay. So, and one of the things we want here, and we'll create a page later, but you've already got your email address in here, which is what you want. For confirmation, we're going to actually point this to another page, and we'll hide it in navigation, but that's later details. We'll worry about that a little bit later. So, okay, that looks good. Save. Kind of butchered that. Okay, cool. And we can change this. We don't even have to have that. If we're going to put, you know, some kind of tripwire here, we'll actually do it. It'll be better to do an image like this and then upload it on top of there. So the most important thing here is to get content on here. None of the pictures, none of that stuff really matters. It's moderately important. You want it because it makes your site look professional and pretty good, but ultimately about ranking, it doesn't matter. The page that we're going to optimize for the most and we're going to try to rank and point the most links to is going to be your home page. So we want at least 500 words of unique content about chiropractic service in Arlington, about your brand, about the services you offer, about any of the above, and maybe even more than 500. We may be shooting for more like 800 words. The more, the better. You could have 4,000 words on here, and it would only help you rank better. And I can't stress unique enough. Google will penalize you if it's copied. It can be kind of some derivative, even if it's copied directly from your other site. There's phrases, single phrases like the easy pain relief since 1987 or whatever it was on your other site. Like that would be fine. But as long as it wasn't all copied and pasted in, it would be fine. So if we want to take some of that other content off there, we can kind of take some derivatives of it, rewrite it, and make it original and unique. Something else that's important is ultimately people aren't going to read 1,000 words of content, 500 words of content. They're going to read some bullet points. They're going to read some bolded stuff. So what you say in some of this isn't all that important. A lot of it's written for the search engines and to help your site rank. But the stuff that we want to tell people, we'll put a bullet point list. And anyway, kind of the end game here is we'll get some content in here, probably throw a few pictures on this homepage, depending on what you want to do. If you want to throw a video or embed a video, that's all good stuff. It's not going to have that much effect on how you rank. So I'll say this content is the most important stuff. So I went in here and I changed a couple of things, and we're going to actually publish it. Publish is like the save button in Microsoft Word, and it actually is going to put your site live on the web. But we can republish over it, but that'll get it saved. So a couple of things here. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, a couple of other things here. We want to go and create some pages. Pages, content, that's what's going to make it rank. So we're going to go over here and we're going to do services. And I pulled up your site over here, and I'm going to create a page for each one of these. If there's some of these that make y'all more money, that are kind of y'all's bread and butter in terms of margin, repeat patients, good customers, we'll spend a little more time on those and put more content on those. But ultimately, we want a page for each one of those. The goal is going to be 18, 20 pages conservatively, and over time, we're probably going to bump that up. The more pages, the better it's going to rank. If you had 50 pages, it would only make you rank that much better. But I think the initial goal needs to be about, in the range of 15 to 20, and that's going to be competitive with the top players in the market. So let's go back over here. I got too much stuff open. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to copy these pages. and just create a few pages. I'm just going to start typing. Okay, save and edit. Design pages. Okay. We actually want to go there. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second. We have to sit. Okay, so I went through a few pages in here straight off your other website. If you want to add, delete, whatever you want to do, it's just a start. So now what we need to do is we need to go back over here. Let's go save and edit. And let's go back over here. So now we've got all these pages in here. Super easy to do. We can edit those. We need to go in and we start getting content. Again, several hundred words, minimum several hundred words on each one of these. On this service page, we'll actually go list all these out and put a brief description once based off of some of the information you put in these different pages. So, and the good thing is your logo will be right here as well, and that's all pre-set up. And then again, we'll link you out to some of this other stuff as well. But that's little stuff. Big thing here again is content, strong, unique content, authoritative. You want to be the authority in the market, and you need to write the content as such. So, if you got any questions, that'll give you an overview of kind of how to get started. And it'll probably take hours to write all that content. So, and that'll be the biggest hurdle. And then we'll have you guys online. But as of right now, you are up and running, and that URL will start indexing a lot better once we get some content. So.